Good morning. It's very nice to be here in Vilnius. I have had the pleasure to be here a number of times, and every time I'm amazed in all the Baltic countries to see the pace of development. When we're looking at the situation today, I think that the number of issues that we're dealing with today are, of course, of tremendous nature. And you can ask yourself how you're going to be able to steer the course and to make your business's development and your business thinking going in the right direction in an area like this. I'm not going to jump into all of these situations. I think that as a bank, we probably have to deal with this on a continuous basis on part of our customers and of the business that we do. But I think we should perhaps think about to stay away from getting bogged down in all these problems the whole time, because at the end of the day, you have to stay on course, the true north of your values and what you're trying to produce, and you have to deal with the problems as they come up. I mean, whatever era that we go into, I think, of this planet's history, every generation had to deal with their problems. Some sort of a problem, some sort of a challenge. And if you put the mind to it, I think that we really, really can go through most of the situations as long as you stay to the long-term strategy of what you have. Nevertheless, I do believe that there are a number of questions that we have to take a look on, both on the challenging side, at least from my point of view, that are haunting us at this point in time. The first of all, I think, is a matter about confidence. The discussion is going on right now with central banks pumping a lot of money into the economy. I think this is a way of thinking from central bankers that they hope that more liquidity will help us in developing more business going forward. I'm not sure that that is the only way forward. I think the big question is, of course, how to deal with the confidence question of investing into the future. But trade and investments will be, in my mind, the only way to develop the economy going forward. Otherwise, we'll only create asset bubbles in one way or another. So trade and investment is very important. The second part of the challenge, in my view, of businesses, societies, economies today is that the only way to survive is innovation with the business. Innovation to be cost-effective, to be really excellent in providing the newest and the possible solutions for your customers. And to do that, you must put in resources to research and development. Because the economies that are developing in other parts of the world, which are much, much bigger than ours, are to a very large extent depending on the numbers. But for economies like here in the Baltic states or in Sweden, it's very much dependent on the innovation side. And to be innovative, you have to push in more money into research and development. I think this is part of this, the big question that we have to deal with going forward. Because if you look at the combination of development on internet, computational power, and biosciences, and the revolution that we're going through in science, this is going to be an absolutely tremendous development next few years. And when I say next few years, I mean the next 10 years. And it's going to impact all our businesses. The innovation aspect of what we see on the customer's business and what we see as a family going forward is perhaps the number one issue. And I sometimes wonder if we're pushing enough into this space. When you look at what United States and China, for example, is pushing into in terms of R&D efforts and their universities, and attracting a lot of business and a lot of students and a lot of people from the outside world to develop their businesses and their long-term thinking around internet strategies, digitalization, and so on. I think we have to be really, really vigilant and very quick on our feet to be able to counter that going forward. The second question is, of course, resilience. I don't have to talk to you guys about resilience. You have a long history of resilience. You have proven in the last few years with your tremendous uptake through the financial crisis that you have not only resilience, but also tenacity and long-term thinking, which I think all of the world is commending you on what you've done and what you're doing today. And also that you have this long-term perspective on trying to develop the business. I understand from speaking to some of you and to the bank, my colleagues at the bank, that when you saw a lot of the changes that have happened to your markets close by to here, that you very quickly focused on different parts of the world and trying to develop your business in Asia and Europe and other places to mitigate the fall off of revenue by not being able to do business close by. I think this is absolutely fantastic. But when you move into an Asian market, a South American market, a European market, and an American market, I believe this first point comes back again. And with the internet, we all know that we can actually reach customers all over the world. And this is what some of the large US and Chinese internet companies are doing today. And therefore, we have to think through, not only from a risk perspective, but also from an opportunity point of view, how we should go about this going in the future. But these were some of my thoughts of this morning. Thank you.